Why would families of homeless people allow them to be homeless? My sister Amber called me sobbing at 2 a.m. on a Tuesday night. She'd been living in her car for 3 months after losing her apartment, and winter was coming fast. I immediately threw on clothes and drove across town to find her parked behind a 24-hour diner, wrapped in a thin blanket with all her belongings crammed into garbage bags in her back seat. She was my baby sister. Of course I'd help. I brought her straight to my apartment and cleared out my entire home office so she could have her own private space. The next morning, I took her shopping and bought her 3 complete outfits: new shoes, toiletries, everything she needed to feel human again. I helped her create a professional email address, updated her resume on my laptop, and even covered her phone bill so she could job hunt properly without worrying about no signal. Amber seemed genuinely motivated and grateful. She'd wake up before me every morning, spend hours at the table applying for jobs online, and would have dinner ready when I got home from work without me even asking. For the first time in years, I felt like I had my real sister back. But then weird things started happening around my neighborhood. Mrs. Lynn from next door pulled me aside one afternoon with a concerned look on her face. "Your sister has been going door to door telling people different stories about needing money," she said quietly. "Yesterday she told me you were dying of cancer and she needed $200 for your treatment." My stomach dropped. "What did you tell her?" "I gave her $50 because I felt so sorry for you both." I immediately started asking other neighbors. Amber had hit up literally every house on our block with different elaborate sob stories. She told the Harrises she needed money for job interview clothes. She told the Delgado family she was raising money for homeless veterans. When I confronted Amber that evening, she broke down crying and swore it was just a misunderstanding. "I was so embarrassed to keep asking you for gas money and food," she sobbed. "I just needed a little extra cash for interviews and groceries. I was trying to be independent." I felt terrible for doubting her and gave her space to figure things out on her own terms. That was my biggest mistake. 2 weeks later, my landlord, Mr. Becker, called me at work, absolutely furious. "Your sister has been using your name and my property address to apply for apartments all over the city," he said. "She's been forging your signature on rental applications and using your income information without permission." My blood went cold. "What are you talking about?" "She applied to 6 different places this month, listing your salary as hers and using fake references. 3 landlords called me to verify she lives here legally, but it got worse, much worse. Amber had also somehow gotten hold of my personal information and opened 3 different credit cards in my name. She'd been using them to buy expensive items online, then returning them for cash at different stores. When I got home that night, I found Amber casually watching Netflix on my couch like nothing had happened. I sat down across from her and laid out all the evidence: the forged applications, the credit card statements, the receipts from neighbors she'd scammed. Amber didn't apologize. She didn't even look surprised that I'd found out. Instead, she looked me dead in the eye with this cold, calculating expression I'd never seen before and said, "So what? You'll forgive me anyway? You always do. That's what family does." That's when everything finally clicked into place. Amber wasn't homeless because of bad luck or tough circumstances. She wasn't the victim of an unfair system or unfortunate timing. She was homeless because she'd systematically burned every bridge with this exact same pattern of manipulation and fraud. Our parents, our brother, her former roommates, her ex-boyfriend, everyone had tried to help her at some point, and she'd betrayed every single one of them. I realized that by taking her in, I hadn't been saving her. I'd just become her next mark. Some people aren't victims of their circumstances. They're victims of their own choices, and they'll keep making those same destructive choices no matter how many people try to help them.